Miss Siverene Swer, Padma Shri awardee and residing at Riyadh Samthia, is a renowned person for her long and distinguished career. She has made an immense contribution to the Girl Guide movement since its infancy. She was also the first Khasi lady to hold an executive post as Assistant Controller of Rationing, for which she received the prestigious Kaisar-e-Hind Medal in 1947. While serving as a teacher in Pine Mount School, Miss Swer was unexpectedly offered the post of Chief Social Education Officer in erstwhile Nefa, now known as Arunachal Pradesh.
Came home, my mother was not willing to let me go because it said it's a back of beyond place and we were here at that time. You only receive a letter per month. There was no communication at all. And anyway, my brother consulted the conservator of forest, who looked after the forestry in Arunachal Pradesh also. And he said, no, Pasikhat is a nice place, and he encouraged me. And so I said, Mother, as a try, I will go. I'll take a contract for about 3 years only.
In the subsequent 3 years, Miss Swer travelled widely and extensively in the remote interiors of Pasighat, braving adverse weather, dense forest, replete with wild animals, with the gallant mission of educating the rural and backward people. Tarun Bhattacharjee, a noted writer of Shillong and erstwhile colleague of Miss Swer in Pasighat, gives us a vivid account of her dedication, courage, and above all, her immense conviction and self-belief.
Once I was accompanying her in a place called Tene. It is a little far off, but it was through turbulent rivers, crossing so many turbulent rivers also, and then dense forested areas to reach a village and a school. She was to inspect a school. And imagine the condition. At that time there was a rumor spread that the wild elephants, herd of elephants were prowling in that area. Everybody cautioned us that be careful, because these elephants are very unpredictable, very dangerous also. But she had enough courage. I was wondering how much courage she had. She did not waver. She decided to visit the school because she wanted to see the teacher.
Author I. M. Simon, who also worked in erstwhile Nefa, comments on Miss Swer's achievements.
Throughout her career, I think she did a lot of things that probably you wouldn't expect ladies to do. When she was in Nifa in the old days, she worked there in those isolated places in Siang district. No question of preferences for ladies. She did whatever others did.
She educated them not only from the point of view of enhancing the literacy rate, but also taught them invaluable lessons of health and hygiene. The local people of Nefa, who being completely isolated from the outside world, had never seen a Khasi lady before, but they seemed to realize the importance of her mission and the practical benefits of her advice, and accepted her with open hearts into their fold.
I had taught many places, villages, and all far away, and there's no communication, marching through the jungle to carry dows and hoes and things like that to cut the undergrowth, the jungle. And it was altogether very adventurous, but very thrilling also, gave me the experience. And so I taught many places to start new schools, and whatever existing, if there are any existing schools there, to develop them and raise them to middle grade, and so on. And thus these 3 years went off.
Having served for 3 years as a Chief Social Education Officer, she was offered the post of founder principal of Bunyadi Shiksha Teachers Training Institute in the remote town of Changlang in Arunachal Pradesh. She spent 11 long years of her life in Changlang and left an indelible mark amongst the people there.
I was in Shillong at that time, asking where to go, and they even appointed me to be the principal. I don't know why, but this was an offer to me. And of course, I had passed the teacher's degree.
The institute was essentially a teachers' training institute, the first of its kind in Nefa. It was initiated in a sprawling 14 acres plot of virgin land, and the buildings consisted of thatched houses. Initially, the trainers resented the deplorable conditions in the institution, but Miss Swer's patient conduct soon served as an inspiration for them.
Because it's brand new and living conditions were not perfect, we have to make do with what we had. But there were complaints here and there. They're not used to the kind of catch buildings and all these people. So anyway, there are stray animals disturbing the area. And apart from that, I didn't have much trouble. They all settled quietly in what I did. Because I did, the staff did, so the students, they have no choice, they have to put up.
Miss Swer had to face yet another hurdle in the institute in the form of communal division. The trainees came from different indigenous groups. Miss Swer served as a binding and cementing force and ensured that the trainees lived and studied not only harmoniously but also happily. Bunyadi Shiksha Teachers Training Institute has now been rechristened DIET, District Institution of Education Training. One can still witness the sprawling buildings that Miss Swer helped build, starting with 14 acres of virgin land. One can only reminisce how arduous it must have been for her in those early days. It is given to a few to reap the fruits of labor in their lifetime. Miss Swer is among the fortunate few, for she can show how her contributions have led to the upliftment of not only the institution, but to generations of students and teachers. Mr. Changhong Tekil, a student when Miss Swer was principal, recounts how efficient Miss Swer was as a principal of Bunyadi Shiksha Teachers Training Institute.
She used to wear purely khasi dress, putting a high shoe. She used to speak in English. We have never hear any sound of Assamese or Hindi, because we do not know what is English, what we are saying today. She used to say, "The morning, children." Then we said, "Morning." Then later on we came to know, "Morning, madam." We were very much surprised to see a lady like is running a very important institution in that time. The name of Bunyadi Shiksha Bhavan is still remembering because she started running that institution. At that time, it was a good discipline. Teachers were limited, they were obedient, and Madam was also very much disciplined lady.
In spite of her hectic schedule, Miss Swer did not confine her activities to the institute itself. She offered herself completely to the upliftment of Changlang. She gave them opportunities for basic education, something which would change the lives of the later generation. Kengzam Kenglang, retired District Art and Culture Officer of Changlang, remembers Miss Swer as a social worker.
She was a social worker, I should say, because sometimes she used to organize social service camp. She used to teach regarding health and hygiene and how to develop uneducated women, uneducated men. During the leisure time, she means that after the school, all of you try to teach to the old person or those who do not join school. To them, you should teach them. That was her idea and advice. That is why still we cannot forget her.
Miss Swer laid great emphasis on agriculture, for she believed in education that was not merely confined to books, but should help one to be self-supporting as well.
14 acres of land was given to this institute, training institute. By the plot, we planted all kinds of vegetables. We sold them to the trainees. Myself, staff, we all bought. We had like a cooperative fund, something like that. And with the proceeds that we get from these, we didn't need to buy new tools from the government. We need grants and all that. It was self-productive. That way we succeeded. All in all, I was satisfied that this basic training of crafts, agriculture, carpentry, cane and bamboo work, knitting, tailoring, all these things were taught in the institute. And the trainees, I'm most glad, they feel fulfilled the coming of training in the tribal area.
Miss Swer actively encouraged the development of local handicrafts. Many collections are still to be found in the small museum at the Institute, which serves as a tribute to Miss Swer's vision and planning. Her house in Changlang is a reflection of her essence, simple, modest, and unassuming. She was the epitome of simple living and the highest plane of thought and actions.
How the years passed by so quickly, these 11 years, which means that the life was full. We had to work, we had plenty of activities, physically activities, and the health students, I remember there was never any very sick person all these 11 years. And then, all in all, I think it's been successful, this training, up to the time that I left. I retired from government service from there.
She retired from active service in the year 1968. But could a woman of her stature and energy remain dormant? The government of Meghalaya channelized the talent of this extremely gifted and versatile woman by offering her the post of a pioneering chairman of Meghalaya State Social Welfare Advisory Board.
When I retired in 1968 from Changlang, I came home, and then I was just spending my time leisurely, and sometimes thinking what else I should like to do. Maybe I go back to education. And then I received one day a letter from one of the secretaries of the Meghalaya government, invited me to come to his office. I went there and he talked to me about their creation of a social welfare board, a state social welfare advisory board.
The nature of her job was purely on an honorary basis, but it did not deter her from committing herself completely in her work. She visited the remote interiors of Meghalaya with the primary purpose of educating the illiterate sections of people and teaching them the fundamentals of a healthy life. Babet Sangma worked together with Miss Swer at Meghalaya State Social Welfare Advisory Board from its infancy.
At the time when she took over the board as chairperson, it was just few furnitures. She was the one who had been instrumental for the growth and development of this board. Welfare program was basically for women and children, because nutrition program for children, health care for children, and then for women, adult education, and then prenatal, postnatal, and also some handicraft programs they carry. So all these places, Bakmara, beyond Bakmara, Garobadha, beyond Garobadha, we used to go on foot with her. She was already retired, means she was already aged at a time. Still she had the energy and drive to go to the villages and look after these welfare centers.
Amongst the many achievements of Miss Swer was initiating the Sinjuk Kanthe, which is now a well-known and successful organization for women welfare in the state.
Even in her own locality, Kongsil is a very concerned person about the people around her. And that is how this Sinjuk Kanthe started, because the concern for children and women is started there. And since then, we have worked together with Kongsil. She has been a great encouragement to us. And she used to teach us many things.
Miss Swer also got the opportunity to travel 12 countries in Europe as a goodwill ambassador of the moral rearmament. She traveled widely to Holland, France, Sweden, Switzerland, and other parts of Europe. Miss Swer also went on to be pioneer chairman of YWCA, Young Women Christian Association, chairperson International Year for 1992 Women's Committee, advisor of Kalumpungki Senkanthe, a coordination of 20 women welfare organizations of Shillong and its suburbs in 1991, and she was also nominated member of the Executive Council of Nehu till 1994. When asked about the secret to her unfailing memory and tranquil existence, Miss Swer reveals the 3 things she does regularly: reading the Bible in the morning, reading the newspaper, and last but not least, doing the crossword puzzle.
Our integrity is something that we should cherish always. And I wish her well and live a long, long life.
She is exceptional. She is exceptional. Even in her age is now 96 years old, she still continues, that versatile genius as she is, and she doesn't break down, never broke down.
She is a lady of integrity, a lady with positive thinking, very courageous and very hardworking.
The present generation would do a lot of good for itself if it made an effort to study the work that she did and try to follow in her footsteps.
I think I am the most blessed person among my community.
The Padma Shri Award in 1990 from the then President of India, R. Venkataraman, for the valuable services rendered by her, which were of very high order and worth. She is now 96 years old. She walks upright. Age has not withered or crippled her, and there's a gentle warmth in her face. Her smile radiates happiness and joy, and her tranquility reflects the inner peace of her mind. It is a reward for a life well lived, and when we see her, we know that such a life is worth living.